Hey, everybody, off the Mike Sports Network here. Done a lot of wrestling content lately, but I haven't gotten into a story that is near and dear to me because I'm a Cleveland Browns fan. So Shedeur Sanders, they're going through OTs, they're going through mini camps, and they've done something in the media, and ESPN Cleveland, I think, is deserve full credit. There's some other people who've been perpetuating this too. Colin Coward as well. They're putting out a tracker for reps and passes, the completions versus completions versus pass attempted statistic for OTAs and mini camp. We haven't even gotten to training camp yet. We haven't gotten to training camp yet, and we're doing this. One thing I will say, because a lot of people think that I don't like Shedeur Sanders, and some of it's personal to me. Didn't like the way that he conducted it himself at some events that I was at. Um, but he's conducted himself the right way. He's had the right attitude about this. He's like, listen, I'm not here to talk about my dad. I'm not here to talk about, why I was picked in the fifth round. I'm not here to talk about that. I'm just here to work. And he's worked after, practices and done his job. And, I admire the tenacity of trying to, hey, he's motivated. Cool. Um, but then there's narratives being spun because his statistics are better than the other three quarterbacks in camp. And I'm like, guys, first of all, we don't know the context of it. Second of all, it's May and June. Do you really think that that's going to play a role in what's going to lead into the Cleveland Browns season? Do I foresee him potentially starting a game for the Cleveland Browns in 2025, or in 2026 near the end of the season because it's going to bleed into there? Maybe. I think it might be very possible because, listen, the Browns are not going to be very good this year. They're not. They're not. They took two quarterbacks. If you're going to take a quarterback in the third round and come back and take one in the fifth round, you've got to at least see what you've got because potentially you're going to have potentially two top 10 picks next year, depending on how the Jaguars are and depending on how you play this year. It's nice to have Joe Flacco there. He's 40. They caught lightning in a bottle with him. I just don't think a full season with him is going to be realistic. They seem to really like Kenny Pickett. And that would be certainly something if they molded him to something and the Pittsburgh Steelers couldn't figure out a way to make him work in the NFL. So that's something to monitor. But could we stop with this, creating narratives that Shedeur Sanders is this godsend and he was this deal? Listen, they got him in the fifth round. There were stuff that happened. I don't know what the hell it was. But this whole feeling sorry for Shedeur to now turning to, oh my God, look at how hard he's working. He's going to be the next superstar. Did the Browns land a steal? Guys, he has not taken a snap of NFL football. There hasn't even been a preseason game. There hasn't even been a preseason game that he's taken a snap for. From every report that I've read, he has not taken a first team rep. He has not faced first team. And I remember a lot of you, I'm looking at you, Colin Coward, who was trying to downplay Baker Mayfield back in 2018 when he looked really good in a preseason game. You were like, yeah, these are a bunch of guys who are going to be working at supermarkets in a couple weeks. A lot of the people that Shedeur Sanders is probably getting reps with right now are those people. Why does this have to be different? Because he's Deion's kid? Let the guy go there and be great, okay? I like what I have seen early on. He has the right motivation. Obviously, this has humbled him and clearly got to him. But I'm looking at some of these grifter accounts in the Browns community, and you guys know I reference Nick Carnes a lot because this guy all he does is grift. Because he was like, Deshaun's great. Oh, Deshaun's bad. Baker's great. Oh, Baker sucks. Just all these things. He loves Andrew Berry, and then he doesn't love Andrew Berry. He just flips the narrative whenever he wants to. And so Shedeur comes in and he's working out 20 minutes after a practice. It's like, guys, that's the bare minimum that you should be doing as a rookie who was picked in the fifth round. Just because he's Shedeur Sanders and he's Deion's son doesn't mean that he's entitled to anything. And some of these statistics are feeding into that narrative with, guys, we don't even know the context. We've seen a couple of throws sparingly in camp when these guys aren't even wearing fucking pads. They're not. This is OTAs and mini camp. Even some of the main people aren't even there or weren't even there for OTAs. That was voluntary. The mini camp stuff, some of the people aren't even there for that. Like, it's just why does this have to be a bigger story than it is? Are we just bored in the offseason? The Browns are not gonna be a good team this year. Their schedule, which was made after the NFL draft when Shedeur Sanders was drafted, Browns got no primetime games. I understand that they could be flexing them. The NFL is even telling you what they think right now. Shedeur could go there and win the job. Who knows? And this could be turn out to be a great value. But basing it off of statistics and meaningless practices where he's getting second and third team reps and facing nobody, and every report that I've read from reliable people within the industry say, yeah, he looks good, but he's not playing against anybody. So when he's after practice there for like 30, 40 minutes, cool. So what you should be doing as a rookie, regardless of what your last name is. Who cares, man? Like this is the stuff that annoys me about, and this is what annoyed me about the whole build up to the draft, is like everybody was trying to frame this as, oh, he's at the same level of Cam Ward, he's the same level of some of these other quarterbacks that were taken ahead of him. And I'm like, guys, look, I watched him play. He has talent, but number 2 overall, really? No. And so he got taken in the 5th round. And I 100% think this was a Jimmy Haslam move for storylines like this to get perpetuated out into the media. And to me, let's just let this kid try and improve up the ladder and see what he can do and see what he can make to it. And when we get to August and when we get to the preseason and when we get to the regular season, then we'll figure it out. I do not see him starting week 1. That narrative and that notion that has been out there that he should automatically start week 1 is a bunch of bullshit. Like, there, I understand that maybe he might be from, a talent perspective, the most talented guy on this team, at least in terms of the quarterback position, but he doesn't have the experience. And, Dylan Gabriel had what, 5, 6 years in college. Like, he had more college starts than anybody. So yeah, I understand that he's small, but that he has a pedigree there. Shedeur Sanders had a couple of really good seasons in college, but hey, he wasn't even considered the best player on his team. And, he's Deion's son. And something clearly did not gel with a lot of NFL teams because he fell all the way to the 5th round. So can we stop perpetuating these narratives about Shedeur Sanders and just starting to crown him right away? Like, listen, as a guy who has seen a ton of bad quarterback play in my day, and listen, how I feel about Shedeur personally, if he goes out there and wins the job and he earns it, I'll support him. I will. But the way that this is going so far, I don't like it because everybody's just trying to create their own thing, trying to be like, oh my God, we finally found our guy. It's like, guys, it's June 13th when I'm recording this. Come on, what are we doing? Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys. Bye-bye.